Hi everyone, welcome back to Gear Up for eLearning. My name is Katie Gear and I'm making this video to help show parents, guardians, family members things they can expect to see this school year if their student is using Google Classroom, sort of what parents and guardians can do, what permissions they have, how they can be involved with what their child is learning. So first of all, how do parents and guardians interact with Google Classroom? Well, you cannot really create adult guardian accounts to view Google Classroom as a student does. Google has some privacy policies in place so that only the teacher and students can see the Google Classroom directly. But parents and guardians can choose to receive email updates about student work instead and be kept in the loop that way. Some people have asked, can I just log into my child's account and see their work that way through Classroom? And technically, yes, you could get your students' login information and see what they're working on there. I would just really caution you to be careful about that in case you accidentally make changes to something the student is working on or cause them to miss seeing announcements of some sort. It could be good to sit down with your student and have them walk you through Classroom so you kind of become familiar with what it looks like on their end. I also created a video called Student View of Classroom, which you can click the eye up above and watch that if you want to see what your student will see. But for the most part, getting these email updates is probably going to be the best way to stay involved. So how can you get these Guardian email summaries? Well, once your child has been added into a classroom, the teacher or someone in admin can send you an invite email to ask if you want to be linked with the student's account and receive these email summaries from Classroom. So you should be looking for an email and the subject line says, "Get Google Classroom email summaries for," and then your student's name. So you should get that hopefully at the beginning of the school year. If you do not receive one and you feel like maybe you should have by this point, just ask your student's teacher about it. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing one or two little settings. The teacher can make that change quickly and push out that email invite pretty fast. So once you get that invitation email, it should look something like this. You'll see that it's clearly marked as a message about Google Classroom. It'll tell you which teacher is inviting you to become a guardian for Google Classroom. It'll confirm the name of the child, and then you will have the option to accept this invitation. And if you click accept, then you can go in and start modifying the settings, how often you receive the emails, and the kind of content that you'll see in them. I'll show you that as well. So you get this email, you can either choose accept, or if you've received it in error, just click on not the guardian and it won't bother you anymore. Once you do click accept, you'll next be taken to a page that looks like this, where you can decide which email account you would like the summaries to be sent to. So this does not need to be a Google account. You can use, any other email provider, but this is just a place where you can confirm or change where you want the email summaries sent to. After you choose the email that you'd like the updates sent to, this is where you can change some of your settings. It'll confirm email summaries are sent to whatever email address you chose. Then you can update the frequency. You will see the name of the student to confirm that you're getting updates about this student. And then with this drop-down tab, like I have pointing with the black arrow, that's where you can choose weekly updates, daily, or no summaries. And I will say the weekly updates are probably the most popular just to lower the amount of notifications you receive. And the last thing you'll confirm is your time zone. This is just to make sure that you're receiving updates at the intended time. Typically, Google will automatically send them out around 4:30, either on the Friday if you chose weekly, or daily around 4:30 each day. And don't worry about these settings too much. They can be changed at any time at the bottom of any update emails that you get about the student's work. You always have the option to change them later. So what will you see in these email summaries? Once you're signed up, if you have chosen weekly email summaries, which as I said, they're the most popular choice, this way you can see the student's missing work, if there was any, for that past week. You can see what's coming up next week. If the teacher has posted things ahead of time, some teachers will not post that far in advance, but if they do, you will see what's coming up. Then you'll also get a summary of the class activity from the past week for each class. So this is a copy of any announcements the teacher made, questions that were posted, any additional comments that were added. You'll see a summary of all that class by class. So right here, I'm actually going to open up an example of what a sample summary email will look like. You can also access the sample if you go into the slides that I'm using for this video. They are linked in the description down below. And you can also just read more frequently asked questions from the Google site. But I'm going to open this one up and go to this link. So now here I am looking at a summary, just sample email. So first we see the missing work. It even tells you what day the work was supposed to be due, so you can follow up with your student about that. Then we see that coming up for the next week, these things have been posted. One in US history, one in marine biology, so it will show you multiple classes. Then in the class activity from the last week, you can see class by class what was posted for each class, each subject. So US history has a section. You can see due dates, the day it was posted. Same with American literature, just as examples here. Due dates, when it was posted, the type of announcement posted. This one was an assignment. This was just one question. This was just an announcement. So we see those for each of the classes. Then down at the very bottom of the email, this is where you could go to your settings and change the frequency, change how you're receiving emails, or you could choose to unsubscribe and stop receiving these weekly updates. But that is a sample of the email. You're pretty much seeing everything that your student sees. You just don't have the ability to, turn in work for them or see exactly what they submitted. So that would be something to ask your student about, ask them to share their documents with you, or log on with them at some point and check in on their work that way if that's what you'd like to do. So especially with younger students, there are a couple other ways that parents and guardians can be involved with Google Classroom. Let's say the child needs to upload a picture of completed work. I've heard of a lot of teachers saying they're gonna, send home physical worksheets and ask the students, families to upload pictures. So to help with that, parents could, on an iPhone, you can go actually use a camera feature on the Notes app, just that notepad app that every iPhone has. There is a way to take a picture of a physical document and choose to upload it to Drive. So that way it would be very accessible for the student to just pull from Drive and turn in. You can help them save a step that way. On Androids, it's even easier. You can just download the Google Drive app itself, and the Android version will have the ability to scan and save to Drive. So in that case, you would want to be logged into the student's Google Drive so they can access the documents, but it just saves a step and helps them get the file to a place they can easily pull from and turn things in. So I would definitely recommend parents, guardians look into these kind of apps. Also, older students can use these apps on their own mobile devices if they have it, and kind of just takes out a bit of the steps for them as well, rather than emailing documents back and forth. Scans work faster, higher quality images too. So if you'd like to see even more about how parents and guardians can be involved with Classroom, definitely check out that student view of Classroom video to see what your student will be seeing every time they're on Classroom. You can also go to the frequently asked questions from Google at the link on this slide. I'll put that link in the description as well. And then just be aware that, the best way to get answers about a specific class would probably be to contact your student's teacher, maybe the IT department. There are going to be some hiccups in technology as we work out everything for this school year. So just be willing to ask questions. And if you're looking for more educational e-learning tips in the future, feel free to subscribe to this channel and I will keep posting tips as I find them.